The Lockhart Perspective. Well, hello and welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and today we are looking at the Biden-Harris administration's awards of $3 billion in Clean Ports grants. The EPA announced the selection of 55 applicants across 27 states and territories to receive nearly $3 billion through the EPA's Clean Ports program. These grants will support the deployment of zero emissions equipment and infrastructure and climate and air quality planning projects at ports across the country. The grants are funded by President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, and it's the largest reported investment in combating climate change and promoting clean energy in history. And it aims to advance environmental justice by reducing diesel air pollution from U.S. ports and its surroundings or their surrounding communities. According to the EPA, the latest funds will improve air quality at ports across the country by installing zero-emission freight and ferry technologies along with associated infrastructure, eliminating more than 3 billion metric tons of carbon pollution, equivalent to 391,220 homes' energy use for 1 year. Here is a quote. In the United States, 39 million people live within 3 miles of a port, said Fern Unadathorn Wa Grangun. It's the Climate Campaign Ports Director at Pacific Environment. Well, Fern continues with frontline and fence line communities continue to pay the price for fossil fuels with their health. And it's long past time to address pollutions at the port. We congratulate the United States Environmental Protection Agency on providing funding to clean up shipping and ports operations. And continues with, we look forward to being a resource for the ports in their path to decarbonization and moving ports to a zero emissions future by 2030. He also goes on to say, we thank the Biden-Harris administration for providing this much-needed funding under the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Now, actually, this comes from Antonio Santos. He is the Federal Climate Policy Director at Pacific Environment. Investing in these port projects is a welcome step, but these efforts are still just a drop in the bucket of what's needed to fully decarbonize the United States maritime sector. Stronger regulatory policies and additional funding at the federal level are crucial to moving the industry toward zero emissions future, in line with the holding the 1.5 degrees Celsius goal in the Paris Agreement, close quote. Earlier this year, the Biden-Harris administration announced that it would issue an executive order to improve port cybersecurity in the United States. Now, who knows what's going to be left after all of that? Nonetheless, I want you to let me know down below in the comments what you think. Do you think that this is a good thing? And did you know that it was that much money that had been given? And what, if anything, do you think they're going to get from this? And most importantly, do you think all of this will be finished by 2030? I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in for the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Felicia Lockhart.